What's up guys, it's me Jeremy, and I know I've made this type of video for the support role in particular, but I figure it's worth applying what makes a competitive champion to all of the other roles as well. Before I start, I just want to give a quick shout out to LearnToLeague.com, an advanced in-depth guide site, and I'm happy to announce that they have switched to a free business model, so all videos will be free to view on their site, so definitely check them out. Let's get started. First, we need to establish the difference between a good champion and a competitive champion. Now, a good champion is simply a champion that can do well in game. Through that logic, every single champion in the game can be good when placed in the right hands. Whether or not a champion is good is much more up to how they are used rather than what they inherently do. Whereas a champion is viable and competitive based on how easy it is to be good relative to other champions. A viable champion is strong enough compared to other champions that it's going to be an advantage when played versus other unviable champions. Now, there are three major mechanics that determine the viability of a champion. The first and most important is counterplay. A champion with massive counterplay is going to be very easy to play against, while hard to play as, since you need to constantly circumvent the weaknesses. For example, this is a little bit of a stretch, but let's take a look at a champion such as Taric. Now, Taric is regarded as somewhat of a weak champion due to the massive amount of counterplay that he has. He is easily kited and outplayed since he has only one CC ability that doesn't last too long, and overall his kit just doesn't do that much, and is poor at performing the support role of kiting opponents, especially versus mobile champions. Now, Taric is far from a useless champion. I play Taric in solo queue and I do just fine. But the fact is that Taric has been picked or banned 0 times throughout this split of the NA LCS. Taric may be easy to play and is pretty consistent, which is a big factor to him being really good in solo queue, but after the nerfs, Taric has become very easy to play against due to the massive counterplay that he has. And this is a big part of a competitive champion. Someone like Yasuo, for example, a highly contested pick, has very little counterplay and as such is very strong. Now, there is also outplay potential that determines the viability of a champion. This is all about how well a champion does versus opponents. Someone like Zed, who has been nerfed so many times, still remains competitive due to massive outplay ability. But a big part of this outplay ability is also meta calls. What a meta call is something that performs well against the current meta, and is good versus the popular champions, in turn making it a viable counter pick. Trundle has arisen in current play because he's an excellent counter pick to a lot of the popular top lane champions, while Trundle's counter picks have fallen a bit out of popularity. And the last point of mention is synergy. Champions that are viable are able to perform well in strategies and team comps. Blitzcrank, although he may be a strong individual champion and definitely good in solo queue, he really doesn't fit very many team comps at all, and often gets outclassed by other picks in comps where he would be viable. Being able to synergize with other champions is definitely something you want a competitive champion to be able to do. Now, in general, a competitive champion will be able to do all three of these things: synergize with others, outplay opponents, and lack counterplay ability. But many champions that are competitive are great in only 2 of those 3 categories, and that is because it's pretty easy to avoid one of the weaknesses simply by playing correctly as a team. Anyone can outplay their opponents if you perform well enough. Counterplay can be avoided, and you can make a team comp around almost any champion. Some will just be a little bit better than others. But that's really what it comes down to in the end, isn't it? Being better than others. And at the end of the day, that's what it takes to be a competitive champion in certain situations. My name is Jeremy, and that's it for my video on what it takes for a champion to be competitive. If you enjoyed this video, feel free to check out some of my others on the screen right now, or stay connected at facebook.com/gamingcurios. I'd love if you could support me with a like, and make sure to subscribe for some more awesome content in the future if you enjoyed this video. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.